So Lebowski says, I love Corey Crawford, but he was not better than Belfour. And I think there was a time where I would probably make that argument too. And I think the argument can be had. There's no doubt about it. But when you look at the organizational leaders for the Blackhawks, Corey Crawford, third in wins behind Esposito and Hall. He is third all-time in shots against. He is third all-time in saves behind Esposito and Hall. He is second all-time in save percentage. You could argue first because first is Scott Darling with a very limited sample
Corey
size.
Crawford.
Corey Crawford has the highest all-time. If you take Scott Darling's 9.923 save percentage out, Corey Crawford is second at .918 in an era where offense was up in comparison to when Eddie Belfour played. Goals against average, Corey Crawford, if you take Scott Darling out of the equation, is second only to Charlie Gardner. Charlie Gardner 2.02, Scott Darling 2.37, Corey Crawford 2.45. Goals saved above average, he is fourth in Blackhawks history behind Esposito, Hall, and Belfour. I mean, like, he is right at the top of every list that exists for Blackhawks goaltending leaders, and they're not all counting stats. Yeah, the shots against, fine. Counting stat, great, whatever. Yeah. But save percentage, goals against average, adjusted goals allowed, all those things, he's right there. And when you look at it, I could see the argument. But for me, when I made my list and I put Corey Crawford above Eddie Belfour, 2 is more than 0 when it comes to Stanley Cups. Absolutely. And that, to me, is the tiebreaker.
And these are two of my all-time favorite Blackhawks.
Me too. Yep.
It was tough. But as I agree with our buddy Chris Dubiel, he said what I was just about ready to say. Overall career, Belfour's probably the better goalie.
Hall of Famer.
But as far as Blackhawk career goes, as you said, 2 is better than 0. He got 2 Stanley Cups. Yes, he played on better teams, but Belfour was there. He got them to the Stanley Cup final. He got them close, just never got them over.
If he had 1 cup, I'd flip him.
Probably. And
Sure.
But see, the thing about Crawford, and I compare him a lot to Ryan Sandberg in baseball. Corey Crawford didn't make too many of those amazing highlight reel saves because he never had to.
Yeah.
He was one of the best positionally sound goalies I've ever seen. He was always there, square to the shot, just rarely ever out of position. If you caught him out of position and you tried to run that play again later in the game, no way you were scoring twice on the same play. Ryan Sandberg got criticized a lot in his career. Well, he never dives for baseball because he never had to.
Right.
He was always in the right spot. They never made the spectacular highlight reel plays because they were so positionally sound and knew where the play was going that they never had to make the diving save or the sprawling, get the uniform dirty in Sandberg's case. So I compare those two a lot together just because they played their position so well that they never had to do the highlight reel stuff. And I think that hurts a guy like Corey Crawford in his national persona because we see all the great saves by Hasek and we see all the great saves by these legendary goalies. Crawford didn't make a ton of those, again, because he never had to.
Right. And if he was beat, it was everybody's beat. And Chris says Belfour's 2 Vezinas and a Calder put him higher. Again, I see that argument, but I do think, as you sort of just alluded to, Greg, that sometimes these national awards that are voted on by hockey writers are reputation-based. And for a long time, that narrative that Corey Crawford was a bad goalie hung over him because of the way Pierre Maguire treated him during that 2013 Cup final he won. He won the effing series over the beloved and renowned and praised Tuukka Rask. Mm-hmm. He was the better goalie in that series. That game where he gave up 5 glove hand goals, Tuukka Rask gave up 6 from all different angles and all different holes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's so I think that reputation can go into these individual awards, not to take anything away from them. Of course, they're important. But I think the argument between Crawford and Belfour, it really, to me, it's a coin flip. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a coin flip.
Bottom line is, both guys are on our Blackhawks goaltending Mount Rushmore.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes.
And you don't rank that. It's 4 best goalies in history. They're both there.